Hi everyone, my name is Andrew Forhan. I'm 32 years old. I've been going to BCC really my whole life. I went to preschool here and pretty much stayed at BCC the whole time and left for college and came back and have been here ever since. My family is, I have my parents who also attend BCC. I have one younger brother, and then also my fiance Charity, who will be getting married later this year, who also attends here. For work, my title is Communications Technician Specialist for Bellingham Public Schools. So I get to help tell a lot of great stories of people, places, and programs in the school district and what's going on. Some of the hobbies I enjoy in my free time, one would be photography. That's something I've grown to love a lot over the last few years especially. I do that both professionally and personally. I get to do it to help tell stories through the school district, but also in my personal time, whether that's an event here at church. I love going to Bellingham Bells games in the summer and taking photos there, or just other items that come up. Really just enjoy the world of photography and how that can shape perspectives and freeze moments in time. Otherwise, I also really enjoy board games. Settlers of Catan is an ultimate favorite, but I don't think I've ever met a board game I don't like. So I enjoy playing that with friends and family, as well as just staying active. I'm a huge sports fan, and while I don't play sports anymore competitively, certainly just playing pickup basketball or going disc golfing, things like that, really enjoy doing that. A significant Bible verse for me lately is Romans 12:2, which reads, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will." That verse connects with me in several ways. Certainly not something I've got all figured out by any means, but just gives me hope and is a great reminder of centering my mind and listening for God in my life. Back when I was in college, I was wondering a lot about what is God's will? How do I hear God's voice? Or how do I know what to do, especially in a time kind of post-high school and college, trying to figure out what to do with my life and graduating in a degree. And I had a professor who had some pretty influential thoughts that this verse reminds me of just, there's a lot of ways it can be known, but being prayerful, listening, people that you see as either faith mentors or peers in your life. It just gave me a new perspective, and when I hear that renewing your mind, I think a lot about intentional ways that if I can slow down and avoid the information overload and just kind of what each day brings, not just be swayed by what every day has, but really kind of center myself and try to renew my mind, I feel like I can take a step back and figure out what the best decision is and discern as best I can for God's will. One important thing I've learned about my faith recently is having patience in my faith and trying to truly surrender control to God. That's certainly a work in progress and something I try to aspire and strive for daily. Certainly far from perfect, but just the last few years have certainly been a whirlwind with schedules and lifestyles changed through COVID. During COVID, I had a move where I left a job in Whatcom County, had a job outside the county, and moved back, and just a lot of changes and just trying to take what came to me day by day. And after all that, it felt finally kind of settled in the last year or so, but didn't necessarily feel settled in my faith or my day-to-day, and just God reminding me that He's in control of situations, that if I want something to change, it's not in my time. Our world often wants us and gives us thought that we can have instant gratification or fixes for things, which can be great in some circumstances, but I think God has just been calling me to a patience, to daily rhythms of prayer and listening, and not expecting that immediate result, but being patient. One of the things I wonder about when it comes to the Bible is cultural contexts or norms of the stories that I'm reading. I know there's biblical scholars and history and tools that can help us with that, and that's something I do strive to do and bring a lens to when I'm reading scripture. But beyond what we might know for certain, I just have wonders to truly understand the message in its original context and how it can apply to us today in 2024. Some of the ways that faith plays out in my everyday life or vocation, I think for work, I've had a few different jobs, but a lot of them have centered around communication. And what I love so much about that is the other-centeredness of it. The best parts of my day and my work are when I can celebrate the stories of things that are going on in the lives of other people. And there's other parts of the job that are important and need attending to, but I just feel a nearness to God, and I think what He wants for us in our interaction with other human beings when we're able to tell other stories or provide an avenue for them to authentically tell their stories. That's just been a really special component of the jobs I've had over the years. Who is Jesus to me? That is an interesting and very big question. One way I see Jesus is in the people around me. I think Jesus gives giftings to different folks, and if I have the lens He wants me to have, I can see Jesus reflected in different people in different ways. I see Jesus in Hannah Fenwick, who dressed up as Jesus for a youth group event several years ago and just has such a tremendous heart for Jesus. I see Jesus in Donna Schultz, who's been praying for me since I was a fourth grader in this church and is still right there with us in the high school youth group today. I see Jesus in my fiancée Charity, with her heart for those on the margins and the work that I get to observe in her and Stephen and the team at World Relief doing every day. I see Jesus in my parents, the way they provided for me and modeled Jesus to me in the way they've raised me and walked along obedience in their faith. I see Jesus in the youth group kids that I get to hang out with. I just love the questions and the passions that they bring to our time together. I see Jesus in a really good friend I've had since I was a kid, who was one of the first people who taught me what it was like to have faith and act as Jesus would want us to act outside the walls of the church. Just really impactful to me. And I see Jesus in many people in BCC. It's been such a gift to grow up in this church, to be here as long as I have. Just lots of names and moments come to mind, and I'm just so blessed to be a part of this community.